Ahoy hoy, I'm Planet Walk, and welcome to Pseudoscientist number 7 of the 12 Pseudoscientists of Christmas. Today, we have a flat earther who sometimes is even disliked by other flat earthers because he can get quite aggressive. I am of course talking about Nathan Oakley. In fact, because of his combativeness, Nathan Oakley even gets into arguments with other flat earthers sometimes. We're going to take a look at one of those cases where he got into an argument with Austin Whitsitt.
Well, we have electromagnetic waves that we can show, and either it has a medium that it's waving through, or it's waving through nothing, which is an asinine claim.
So we have electromagnetic waves, which this thinks is light, waving through a something medium because they can't wave through nothing. Therefore, his something medium is ether.
So we're starting off with some commentary by one of Nathan Oakley's lackeys, Quantum Eraser. And it seems like, and I might be wrong here, but what it seems to me like is that Quantum Eraser does not think that light is made from electromagnetic waves. Now, if that is what he thinks, then he is of course wrong. Light is made from electromagnetic waves, and humans understand electromagnetic waves very well, considering that it's used in a lot of communication devices. Now, Austin Whitsitt is of course wrong about light needing an ether, because the thing that is waving, as Austin puts it, is the electromagnetic field.
Basically, if you have a vacuum chamber, which it does still have some molecules in it, right? But you have all kinds of electromagnetic fluctuations that you can measure and detect within that. And so it's like, what's the energy traveling through?
Now we have a vacuum chamber, you know, the ones we trip over when we walk around in nature, with electromagnetic fluctuations in it, which this idiot considers light. And his question proof for his retard ether is, what's the energy traveling through?
Okay, so I think that is confirmation that Quantum Eraser really does think that light does not come from electromagnetic radiation. I'm not surprised. He's a flat earther. Of course he thinks that. And he also seems to imply that because vacuum chambers do not exist in nature, then Austin's observations that involve a vacuum chamber are therefore invalid. Which to me is really funny given the number of statements made about vacuum chambers by flat earthers. But of course, when it comes to Austin's claim, a vacuum does not necessarily mean absence of electromagnetic radiation. And as far as I'm aware, there is no way to remove the electromagnetic field from any given region of space. So of course, yes, light can travel through a vacuum because of the electromagnetic field that exists there.
Relationship. Like,
Sorry,
it's just
what was the phenomena
framework.
studied in this highly scientific parlor trick? What was the phenomena studied?
The difference in travel of light.
Okay, are we still talking about the vacuum thing? Because if we are, then I don't really understand Austin's response. I feel like a bit more context would be needed.
Told me what proved it was the travelling through it. Now you're saying it doesn't travel, so that doesn't prove it then, does it?
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't prove ether. You've lied to an entire community of people, you total scumbag. Now you so nonchalantly say no.
So I'm guessing that Nathan Oakley has never heard of the idea of people changing their mind, which makes sense given that Nathan Oakley never seems to change his mind. So if someone is wrong about something and then changes their mind, although in this case, Austin might be more wrong after changing his mind, it doesn't mean that they were lying before they changed their mind. It is entirely possible that they might just be misinformed. I mean, flat earthers get things wrong all the time. That doesn't mean that they're lying, they're just wrong.
Okay, so that's a straw man. What I actually...
It's your claim!
Like fear in his voice, his quivering, tightening throat. He knows he's been caught in his bullshit lies.
Yeah.
Okay, Nathan, just let the guy speak. At least let him get to his point. And also, there's a number of reasons why someone can have a shaky voice. I mean, sometimes I have a shaky voice simply because I'm cold.
Okay, so this is a straw man. My actual position is that...
You hear the fear?
You're done.
Can you hear how terrified this look is? That's because he's lied to all of you.
Let the dude finish. How he sounds is completely irrelevant to whatever point that he's trying to make. Maybe he's nervous. Maybe he's cold. Who knows?
Don't give Whitsitt money. Ostracize this scumbag liar from your community. Remove him from your lives.
Can we ask the Flat Earth community to just do that to Nathan instead? I mean, just look at how he's treating another Flat Earther.
He'll just lie to you again and he's about to lie to us now. That's what liars do. Like NASA lied to you, Whitsitt will start lying to you now.
Of course, if Nathan's going to let Austin speak, he has to poison the well first. You know, I could easily claim that Nathan is lying here and that's why he won't let Witsit speak. In fact, that would make a lot of sense given that Witsit is actually trying to explain his position. So yeah, the only way that Nathan would be able to prove to me that he's not lying here is by letting Witsit speak. Will he do that?
I've said light does not travel for many years,
Oh, it's
long
not
before.
travelling through a vacuum, proving ether, then, you lying scumbag.
Okay, so it looks like I was wrong about Witsit having changed his mind. I was wrong, not lying, Nathan. But that doesn't change the fact that Nathan should let Witsit speak so that we can hear his full point. Like, it is possible that I end up agreeing with Nathan and go, yeah, Nathan is right, but if I don't hear Witsit's actual point, then I cannot do that.
Are you still here? Pack your bags and get out of flat Earth. You're not welcome.
Nathan, given how rude you are, I'd say that there's a lot of flat earthers who would say that you're not welcome in flat Earth either. Why don't you leave flat Earth then?
Go, get lost, leave flat Earth. We don't want deceivers here. We've had enough of them. That's why we left the globe.
Well, if that is the case, then every flat earther should stop being a flat earther, seeing as they are deceiving people by saying that the Earth is flat. I never thought that it would be Nathan Oakley, of all people, to call for an end to the flat Earth community.
Yet making you an outright abject scumbag lie that doesn't deserve to be in the company of flat earthers. So get out!
Witsit doesn't deserve to be in the company of flat earthers? Well, that sounds like a blessing. Witsit, take your opportunity and leave.
If we have a vacuum chamber and there's some atoms in it, what's
Whoa.
around?
Where'd you get the vacuum chamber from?
Maybe he bought it? Are you going to demand that he brings up Amazon and shows you what his purchases are? I'm sure that nobody needs to see that.
We built a box.
Yeah, it's man-made. Where do you find a vacuum in nature?
I can think of 3 places off the top of my head. Well, 2 of those places aren't actually off the top of my head, they're actually in Nathan Oakley and Quantum Razor's head. But the 3rd place is in space. But just because something is man-made, it doesn't mean that any observations done with it are invalid. I mean, lasers are man-made. Does that mean that laser experiments over lakes are suddenly invalid?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yes, it does. That's what we're talking about. We're talking the nature of our reality.
I have to agree with Austin. It doesn't matter. You can find out things about nature with man-made objects.
Yeah, so what's around whatever is, if you pull as much gas pressure as you can out of the box, what's in the area there is no gas pressure?
You can't have a perfect vacuum. There's still molecules in there.
Just wait until he finds out that space is not a perfect vacuum either, because there are still a few molecules in it. Especially given their whole argument of, oh, you can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum, apparently.
What's around the molecules?
The space,
So what is space?
length, width, and height. Length, width, and height. Length, width, and height.
So it's just a conceptual description of math?
Yeah, it's a conceptual description of space, yes.
So there's just math around the molecules?
Math? Where did I say math, moron?
You know, the wild thing about seeing flat earthers argue is I feel like sometimes I could just make their points for them, but a lot better. Like, all Witsit had to do there was say, well, what does that space contain? Would it be empty space by any chance? And what is empty space? Is it a vacuum by any chance? Instead, he's trying to rely on cheap gotchas that work far more effectively if he's trying to attack an argument rather than what he is doing, which is defending an argument. And what Quantum Razor could do is maybe actually ask about the vacuum that's being talked about and see if it's an actual vacuum that has been built before. But no, they're just trying to throw gotchas at each other because that's how they normally debate people.
No, when I say light doesn't have a speed, it's as in travel from point A to point B. Rate is still technically a speed, of course.
Yes,
So
that's a contradiction. Rates of speed, yes.
Okay, I'm trying to work out what his point here is. Is he trying to say that light doesn't travel, but instead has a time between going from point A to point B?
So fair enough, I will yield that because my point is very specific. It doesn't have a speed as in travel from point A to point B. That is just an erroneous assumption.
I don't mind carrying on from like 10 months
See
ago.
how
Oh, there's Nathan again. Where did he go? Actually, doesn't matter. He can leave again if he wants. Like, usually I try to make these videos more about the person who they're supposed to be about, but I don't mind for this one. It doesn't have to be about Nathan Oakley. Nathan Oakley can just be the channel that this video was put on. Like, we all heard how Nathan Oakley was treating Witsit. It's not like everyone's going to be disappointed if we don't get more of that.
Oh, my whole point was that nothing cannot exist, and then
No. You told me that it was travelling through no thing, and you couldn't have no thing. It must be a thing to travel through, and that's what proved we had ether 10 months ago.
So Nathan's point here seems to be that if light is not travelling, then it can't be travelling through nothing. That is a perfectly fine and valid point. Now let Witsit speak.
Now we've got to the point where you're saying, I concede. So it's not proving... Is it just me or using your mute button on me when it comes to the conclusion of your double speak?
The irony of Nathan Oakley complaining about having a mute button used on him, and the irony of him complaining about not being able to finish what he wants to say.
Okay, again, this is a straw man.
It's not a straw man, it's your claim!
Huey, stop.
For once, it wasn't Nathan interrupting Witsit, it was Quantum Razor, and then Nathan told him to be quiet. What is the world coming to?
What's a straw man? You told me what proved it was the travelling through it. Now you're saying it doesn't travel, so that doesn't prove it then, does it?
No.
No, he's conceded his failure. Now shut the hell up, you deceitful little shit.
Okay, Nathan, could you just let him explain how it's a straw man? I want to know.
Okay, so that's a straw man. What I actually...
It's your claim!
Fear in his voice, his quivering, tightening throat.
Wait, hold on. This is the same thing we were listening to earlier. Can we please not put things out of order?
He's been lying to the entire...
Or I'm around children. I'm not insane like you are.
There we go with the ad homs.
You know, if someone's going up against Nathan Oakley, I don't fault them for ad homing. It's something that Nathan Oakley tends to do a lot anyway.
Make sure you go down there with the final experiment, too. Because you're a flat earth believer. At the very best, you're a flat earth believer.
You know, I also wouldn't insult someone for going to Antarctica to actually try and see for themselves whether there's a 24-hour sun. It's better than what Nathan does at least, which is just sitting around yelling at people all day.
I never said that I thought light travel from point A to point B. I've always said...
Told me? You told me personally, you liar.
Okay, can we just let Witsit speak? Like, I get that Witsit is wrong about things. I get that he may have contradicted himself. But you're getting nowhere just by yelling and talking over him.
Now I demand your ostracization from this community. I demand it! You get out of my community. Mine, not yours.
Wait, is Nathan trying to claim that the Flat Earth community is his community? Because if he is, that just shows how big his ego is.
Do you hear me, scammer? That's why Jaren was calling me a scammer, to cover up for this ginger grifter scam.
Yep.
That's what it was all about.
Yep.
Project how I'm a scammer, because I'm calling him out on his fraud.
If I had to take a guess as to why Jaren might have been calling you a scammer, Nathan, it's because you refused a free trip to Antarctica to test whether the Earth is a globe or whether the Earth is flat. As I said earlier, you'd rather just sit there yelling at people and not actually give people the opportunity to explain what their point is. And then you post a video where it's mostly just you yelling at someone. In fact, I've cut most of that out because it's just annoying to listen to. And not only that, but chronologically, the video is all out of order, so half of it doesn't even make sense. Like, from what I've seen, yeah, sure, Nathan has a point, but he isn't giving Witsit any opportunity to actually respond to that point. It's like, let's say, if you're playing a game of Monopoly, and you're losing for a bit, but then you start winning, and then you decide that the game is over. And because you're winning at that point, you just walk away and claim victory, without anyone else agreeing to end the game. It's not that you won the game, it's that you ended it at a point that was convenient for you so that you could claim victory. Had it continued, then you might have lost, but we'll never know because you didn't continue it. And that basically just sums up the video. Like, yeah, Austin is wrong about the ether, but, like, Nathan, give him a chance to speak, like, even if it's just to let him dig his own hole. But anyway, that is it for this video. I really just hope I'm done with Nathan Oakley at this point. So leave a like and subscribe if you like this video. Leave a comment letting me know who you think the next pseudoscientists are going to be. As always, a big shout out to my $20 or more patrons. Hugh Jarsz, M.C.Nutkin, Tony C, Rosyna Keller, Ray, KidVicious, definitely not NASA, Morrie, Kaylee, and FistWizard. If you want to support me financially, you can do so on Patreon. There should be a link there. Or you could buy me a coffee. I will see you in the next video. Between you and me, thank you for watching.